Hi, my name is Adriana Verhagen, and today I'm going to be talking about parenthood and children. There are multiple factors that people take into consideration when having children. These factors are especially important when making the first steps towards parenthood. A lot of people feel pressure from society to have children. This pressure can come from friends, especially at a certain point in their lives, around age 30 or so. It's the time when people have just gotten married and they're having their first kids, their first babies, so other people may feel pressure to have children as well. And the pressure may come from, the person's own grandparents, parents, or even their, other relatives. In the past, children were viewed as economic assets since they could help their parents do the everyday household chores as well as the work in the fields, on the farm. With the shift to an industrialized society, the way children are viewed has dramatically changed. Some people have always wanted kids since they themselves were children. They can they view having children as fulfilling and being part of who they are, part of their identity. The main thing that people take into consideration and weigh when they have children is money. In the textbook, the authors state that in 2011, raising a child from the moment they're born to age 18 is estimated to be close to 300,000. Its exact number is $295,560, and this is for middle income families. The cost for a child begins from the moment they are born. The costs comprise diapers, formula, and if the parent's not able to stay home, daycare, probably extracurricular activities such as when the child gets older, soccer camp, music lessons, etc. And then college is a major thing that people save up and pay for. Before becoming parents, people need to evaluate if they can meet their own needs, such as paying rent, paying their health insurance before they bring a new life into this world, i.e., a baby, obviously. According to Namaguchi and Milky, children may give adults opportunities to interact with other people, including relatives, neighbors, friends, and those in community institutions such as schools and religious organizations. So when a child's born, a parent is exposed to a greater array of people, either through their church, through their neighbors who also have kids so they can have play dates, and, mainly through school. Conception. Before modern technology, if people could not have children naturally, they would be faced with two different outcomes. They would either have to remain childless or they could adopt. The author stated that infertility treatments can involve drug therapy, donor insemination, in vitro fertilization, and related techniques. Another option is ART, which stands for Assisted Reproductive Technology, and 1/3 of births are a product of ART, and it's a very expensive method. And this chart shows the different cycles, the different products, I should say, such as live births, singleton live births that are a result of ART. People vary when they at the age they have children. Having children early in life gives people the reassurance that they will physically be able to do it, i.e., their fertility will be good. And the authors in the textbook also stated, in addition, earlier parenthood means a greater likelihood of having more time with grandchildren and even great-grandchildren. Like everything else, earlier parenthood has its setbacks. When a person has a child early in their life, they usually put their education on the back burner since they're focused on, having a child and raising it. This in turn can take much longer for them to advance in their own career and get promoted, and it can also delay their retirement funds as well as saving for their children's college. On the other side of the spectrum is people who choose to delay parenthood. Older women believe that delaying parenthood allows them to grow personally, especially in their careers, as well as their marriage. And additionally, in the textbook, it states psychiatrists speak of the maturity, patience, and good parenting skills of later life parents. And this is applicable to my own life. My mom had my younger sister and I later in life versus our older sisters, and she said she's a much better parent to my little sister and I versus my older sisters because she's more patient and she was more established in her career, and she was just overall, I guess you could say, more mature and sure of herself, especially as a parent. And then the setback though is fertility. The woman's fertility declines, and they're more likely to have low weight, premature babies, and babies with learning disabilities as well. As you can see in this chart, the older a woman gets, the more likely the baby she has will be born with Down syndrome. And if you look at the difference between 20 versus 40, 20 is 1 in 2,000 versus 40, which is 1 in 1,000. And then this is another chart showing preterm births by maternal age. And if you look, you can see how it's really high for women over the age of 40. Some people choose not to have kids, and their motives differ. In another article, the author Movius explained that perhaps the most frequently mentioned reason for remaining childless is the feeling of freedom it affords. When a person does not have children, they can leave at a moment's notice or just take a trip in a spur of a moment. But when you have a child, you have to plan it out or find a babysitter or take the child with you. So it really does differ. And then some women feel that a child could hamper their career, from getting promoted or advancing. And the reason for this feeling is that women are typically expected to put their husband and families first before their own needs. And I just picked these two pictures to show what a career woman versus a woman who stays at home. And obviously, with new technology and with people living longer, there are advantages to parenting in the 21st century. And the typical family has truly changed. Now, families are comprised of single fathers, single mothers, either by choice or circumstance, cohabiting couples who are unmarried yet they have one or more children, families who live with extended family. So every family is different, and it's no longer, oh, mom, dad, two kids. It's truly changed over the last century, basically, or the last few decades. In the textbook, it states in general, parents now have more education and are likely to have had some exposure to formal knowledge about child development and child raising techniques. Despite parenthood yielding many benefits, there are challenges. The role of a parent is sometimes difficult to balance along with their everyday jobs. As parents age, as their parents age, parents are faced with caring for them as well as their own children. And then parents face criticism from their peers, friends, and family, as well as society. The big debate lately has been vaccinations, especially with the measles outbreak. So that's the parents who don't vaccinate their kids are being heavily criticized. So this is another challenge they're facing. And there are so many challenges that parents face now in everyday society and the world. And this is my bibliography. These are the two articles I found, and that's it. And that's the end of my presentation.